Kunjabe Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Radha Gopinath, Jaya Lalita Vishakha, Radha Gopinath, Jaya Lalita Vishakha. Giridhari Gopal, Giridhari Gopal, Giridhari Gopal, Giridhari Gopal. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च। श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय Devaki Nandanaya cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Welcome all of you for the Sunday morning Bhagavatam class here. I had marked these dates in my calendar so that I can get to attend His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj's Sunday program. So last Sunday also I had come, but devotees were telling doubtfully that Maharaj may or may not come this Sunday here. So, although I thought I'll give one prana lecture and then I get to attend one lecture. Like Maharaj said once, man proposes, Lord Chaitanya disposes. So anyway, another Sunday I'll come to attend Maharaj's program. I am sorry to disappoint you all. Many of you must have expected from Maharaj today. But I heard Maharaj is giving a program in GV today evening. So we are reading from the Chatushloki Bhagavatam, the third verse today. Is it big enough for everybody? Yata mahanti bhutani bhuteshu chavacheshu anu pravishtani apravishtani tatha teshu nateshvaham yatha mahanti bhutani bhuteshu chavacheshvanu pravishtanya pravishtani tatha teshu nateshvaham. So all the Prabhujis together we can chant, okay? Yata mahanti bhutani bhuteshu chavacheshvanu pravishtanya pravishtani tatha teshu nateshvaham. All Matajis together now. Yata. Thank you. Now everybody is satisfied now. Sometimes three devotees simultaneously recite. Instead of that, I thought let everybody recite. Equal opportunity for all. Mahanti, the universal. Bhutani, elements. Bhuteshu, Uccha avacheshu, in the minute and gigantic. Anu, after. Pravishtani, entered. Apravishtani, not entered. Tatha, so. Teshu, in them. Na, not. Teshu, in them. Aham, myself. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Oh Brahma, please know that the universal elements enter into the cosmos and at the same time do not enter into the cosmos. Similarly, I myself also exist within everything created and at the same time I am outside of everything. So apparently contradictory, but we will discuss it in the purport. Here is Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur's translation. Just as the elements enter into all beings and also remain separate, which means the soul is Satchidananda Swarupam. The soul doesn't become tainted by metal elements. Metal elements cover the soul by subtle and gross coverings. But the subtle and gross coverings have their distinct identity, separate from the soul. Correct, no? That's why he's saying, just as the elements enter into all beings and also remain separate, I enter into all beings and remain separate. Which means Lord Krishna enters all living beings in his plenary portion as super soul. and he remains separate also. As he says in 13th chapter of Gita, he says, Kshetrajnam, Kshetrajnam chapimam vidhi, sarva kshetreshu bharata, kshetrajnayor jnanam, yattad jnanam matam mama. Like that he says. See, remaining separate not only means you have your identity, I have my identity. Separate also means not attached also. For example, we may be, somebody gives me a stereo for 3 months and goes away. After they come back, I may ask them, can I keep it with myself? Because in the meantime, I may become attached. Although stereo is separate, I am separate, still we can become attached. Whereas the super soul, he has a distinct identity and he can also remain separate, aloof. So Lord says, I enter into all beings and remain separate when I perform my pastimes. In pastimes related to the material world, I remain detached. And in pastimes related to devotees, I am attached. So like that, Chowpatty Thakur explains. So we will read one part of the purport today. And then purport. Shri Prabhupada ki. The great elements of material creation, namely earth, water, fire, air, ether, all enter into the body of all manifested entities. The seas, mountains, aquatics, plants, reptiles, birds, beasts, human beings, demigods, and everything else materially manifested. And at the same time, such elements are differently situated. What is the meaning of differently situated? Now the pradhan is a very fine matter. So fine that there is no distinction between sattva, rajas, tamas in the pradhan. Then from pradhan, further prakriti comes. And from prakriti, the mahatattva is delivered. So these are 3 stages. Pradhan, prakriti and mahatattva. It becomes little more grosser and more grosser. In mahatattva, you can distinguish between sattva, rajas, tamas. Then ahankara is added, sattvika ahankara, rajasika ahankara, tamasika ahankara. They produce further 25 items later. So the pradhan, prakriti and mahatattva can be compared, say, to an 8-year-old girl or an 18-year-old girl and 28-year-old woman. For example, an 8-year-old girl has no ability to beget a child. 18-year-old girl who has attained puberty, she has the potential to beget a child. And 28-year-old woman who is pregnant already has a child inside. She is pregnant. So in this way, pradhan, prakriti and mahatattva. So the Lord Vishnu, he glances at prakriti and gives the jivas to her. And then in this way, the prakriti is made pregnant by the Shambhu glands of the Lord. After that, all of us jivas are given this material body made up of Panchamahabhut. So in one sense, we can say we are in the womb of material nature. We are in the womb of Mother Nature, Durga. Because this covering of gross and subtle covering has come on us. At the same time, there are 2 very important information given here till now. One is, the earlier conglomeration of material elements were like a mass, like a chapati atta you make, this much flour. But later on, you can take out one gola from that, make round. Sometimes you make triangular, what do you call that, paratha? Triangular. Sometimes you make round. Similarly, what Durga Devi does, she supplies the 8 elements for all the jivas. And Brahmaji makes a template for all of them. So you have the template, take materials from Durga, put it, and some jivas, some bodies are fair, some bodies are black. Portion of his own body for making the planetary systems to Brahma, 14 planetary systems. Those who are sattvic, they go to upper planets, rajasic in the middle, and tamasic below. And then in this way, the bodies are awarded. So one important thing is, earlier the material elements were in a stagnated state, in pradhan and prakriti. But now those material elements, they all are surrounding one jiva. And this creates material variety. Earlier there was no material variety. So, for example, say you have a watercolor box. When you look at the round watercolor box, do you get any kind of feelings? You don't get any feelings. But say artist takes those watercolors on a canvas, he draws some picture. Say he draws a picture of some beggar with a begging bowl, and the beggar looks very pathetic with tattered clothes, and he's begging for wood, or something like that. So as soon as you look at the picture, you feel, yeah, some compassion you feel when you look at the picture. Very moving picture for you. Just like when we go for offering flower to Prabhupada, you just keep watching in the side the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, delivering Jagai Madai. It produces some feelings in your heart. Then you go further, Mahaprabhu carrying Haridas Thakur, and dancing. So when you look at the pictures, it creates feeling. Whereas spots of paint don't create any feelings. That's why in the very first verse, Tejo Vari Mridam Yata Vinimayo Yatra Trisargo Mrisha, it is said. Teja means fire, Vari means water. Tejo Vari, Mridam means mud. Tejo Vari Mridam Yata Vinimayo. When those three are combined, then we get bile, mucus and air, isn't it? When these things are combined and made into bodies of man and woman and all the 8.4 million species, oh, that is such an amazing display in this world that even great sages are put into illusion. Yatra Trisigo Mrisha. So, therefore you find the material variety disturbs the mind of the conditioned souls. But it is given to them because they wanted to enjoy independently. So the material variety is given. In reality, the material differences what we see in this world is simply a misnomer or cheating, because ultimately when the pralaya comes, all this Panchamahabhuta in all our bodies will be merged together like one again chapati atta. We started with that and then now divided, then again everything is brought together. Just like I remember our one madam in our school days used to give us china clay, to all the children. So we all used to make different things. Sometimes somebody will make elephant, somebody makes rabbit, somebody makes man, woman, everything. And the madam will tell us, now all of you wind up now, it's time up, the period is over now. Then everybody puts everything together and gives back to teacher. That's what Durga also does afterwards. When pralaya happens, all the elements are put together. So then those conglomeration of material elements don't produce any maya. They don't produce any illusion. But when they are separated, creating material variety, which is resembling spiritual variety, but there is a big difference. Material variety is pain producing. Spiritual varieties are ecstasy producing. And material variety is temporary. Matter is eternal, but the manifestations in the form of 8.4 million species, that is temporary. Manifestation of matter is temporary. Whereas spiritual variety is eternal, it's everlasting. In spiritual world also you have mountains and rivers and trees and plants and cows and calves and deers and peacocks and monkeys and gopas and gopis, everybody. But their bodies are all Satchidananda Swarupam. Vasanti yatra purushaha sarve vaikunthamurtayah atiya nimittena dharmena aradayan harim. It is said, sarve vaikunthamurtayah. It is said, everybody's body is spiritual body there in the spiritual world. It's a blissful body it is. So in this way in the material world, the material covering over the soul, that is separate from the Satchidananda soul, pure soul. Soul is divine. Like every soul in this world, we can say they are all potentially divine. But they have become covered over by subtle and gross covering. Subtle covering is like software, and the gross covering is like hardware. Software for storing your desires, hardware for executing desires. So these two are given to us. So problem is in software. That's the problem. Like we have some Trojan, some virus entering into our computer. Once it enters, it just shakes the computer. One amazing observation I made. When virus enters the computer, it has two type of effects I have seen. One is computer goes like this, hanging. You've seen that? Or the computer goes crazy. opening any file which you never asked him to open. Isn't it? Similarly, we also, when the virus of lust, anger, greed enters our system, some people are hanging. How are they hanging? In depression. Completely morose, they don't talk. Or some people go hyperactive. So that is in which guna? Rajoguna, yeah. Hyperactivity in Rajoguna and hanging in Tamaguna. So the virus has to be removed. That's the goal of life. Purification of heart by glorification of God and returning back to Godhead. That's the goal of life. So for that purpose, this world is given as a platform for reformation. So we have turned away from Krishna, now we have to turn towards them. That is another verse in the Bhagavatam which says, you all can repeat the first two lines. Janasya Krishnat Vimukasya Daivat Adharmashilasya Sudukkitasya Anugrahayeha Charanti Nunam Bhutani Bhavyani Janardhanasya. So in this verse he says, Janasya Krishnad Vimukasya. When you turn your face away from Krishna, all problems starts, he says. Just like you look at the sun, there is no shadow. Look away from the sun, you see shadow. In Krishna, there is no blemish. There is no bad quality. But when we turn our face away from Krishna, then we get bad qualities. Like when Krishna entered the wrestling arena, Yashoda and Nanda were sitting also. They saw Krishna's body as tender child, very soft like butter, like a bluish sapphire. With great affection, Yashoda, Nanda, Vrajabasis, they were looking at Krishna. And they were all saying, this is Anyay. Look at the small, tender two children, Krishna Balaram, and they are going to fight with this Chanur and Mushtik, who look like mountains, mountain of flesh, very hefty fellows, Palavans. So they were all saying this is not to be allowed. On the other hand, when Kamsa looked at Krishna, Krishna didn't look that way. For Kamsa, Krishna looked like Virat Purusha. So he looked like death personified. Mrityur Bhojapate. So Krishna shows two type of appearances to two different devotees. Two different people. For devotees, he shows his tender, beautiful, attractive form. For those who are non-devotees, he shows his Kalarupa, or Vishwarupa, or Kalarupa, which is very dangerous looking form, where the teeth are, crushing the skulls of the soldiers who are entering into the flaming mouths. So one man asked Prabhupada, Swamiji, you always say Krishna is beautiful. It seems your God has nothing else other than beauty. Prabhupada said, no, there is another form, Kalarupa, he said. So if you don't surrender to Krishna, that is waiting for you. So Prabhupada said, both are available for two different people. So in this way, the material variety cannot disturb the devotee. The devotees of the Lord, they see the material variety, but they are not allured by it because they know that this material variety has many problems. It is nasty. It is the Panchamahabhuta. This material variety is illusory. It is ever changing. It is ever changing. People with jet black hair, they get white hair. People with clean faces get wrinkled faces. People with 32 teeth, one out, two out, all out, goes off eventually. Is it not true? Young and beautiful looking people, eventually they look like monkeys. So devotees of the Lord are never fascinated by the material variety in this world. It is simply cheating variety. So there is not much difference between the doll kept in a cloth shop and the bodily beauties of this people in this world. So at the same time, although we are not supposed to be attracted by the so-called display of false beauty, which is like a reflection mango in a river, not the real mango in the original tree. And that is spiritual. But the reflection tree is in the water. We shouldn't be fascinated, but still one very important thing we should know is the souls are all Krishna's part and parcels. He says in 15.7, Mamaivamsho Jiva Bhuta. Eternally they are my children. So being Krishna's part and parcels, every jiva has very, very good nature. Our Sri Bhaksan Saraswati Thakur, in one quote, he says, the natural discretion of a jiva is to strive for perfection, he says. Like, for example, in schools and colleges also, we try to get good marks. When you go to company, they have this quality control of all the products. Similarly, in the bhakti also, chanting, we make an effort to try to chant nicely. Similarly, every morning you get up, you brush your teeth and take your bath, and you want to be clean. Nobody wants to be unclean. So the natural disposition of a jiva is to strive for perfection. Why? Because he is actually supposed to be perfect, being a part and parcel of God. So therefore, in that sense, we should respect every living entity. So even we are fascinated in another way when we see the living entities as devotees of Krishna, because Krishna's beauty, Krishna's charm, Krishna's intelligence, Krishna's strength also manifests in devotees in minute proportion. Mama tejomsha sambhavam, he says now. So in all the jivas we can see them, and in that sense appreciate the jivas also, without becoming attached to them on a material platform. So further Prabhupada says, in the developed stage of consciousness, the human being can study both physiological and physical science. That means you can study physiological means about the body of the living entities. See, what is the difference between the word living entity and soul? Living entity means soul covered by two coverings. That's called living entity. When you say soul, it's only Satchidananda Swarupa soul, no covering. So you can know the physiology of the material body or the physical science of matter, but the basic principles of such sciences are nothing but the material elements and nothing more. Like, for example, when I had a choice to be a doctor or engineer, my father said, do one out of the two things. So I met both the students of medical science and also engineering. So one thing frightened me. If you go to medical science, you have to dissect a frog, they said, then I won't go there. But they said, how will you study the body? Yes, you can dissect a frog or a rat or something, and you can understand the mechanisms inside. But ultimately, any amount of study on every part of the body, ultimately, it's a material body. The spirit soul is beyond the 8 material elements. So that's what Prabhupada is saying. It's material elements and nothing more. It's a temporary phenomenon, fleeting phenomenon. So studying, of course the doctors study it with a noble intention of serving the suffering people. But otherwise, simply knowledge of material body alone is incomplete. One has to know the knowledge of the soul and its relation to super soul. So the body of the human being and the body of the mountain, as also the bodies of the demigods, including Brahma, are all of the same ingredients, earth, water, fire, or ether. And at the same time, the elements are beyond the body. The elements were created first, and therefore they entered into the bodily construction later. But in both circumstances, they entered the cosmos and also did not enter. Why Prabhupada says here did not enter? They may enter the cosmos, but they have not touched the living entity. Living entity is still aloof from them. Similarly, the Supreme Lord, by his different energies, namely, now he is coming to the next point. First, he spoke about the material elements coming into the universe and wrapping up the souls. That's the first part. Second part is Supreme Lord coming into the universe now. This is also very important to know, that although Krishna comes into this world, he remains aloof. This is very important, how it happens. For example, say you all have brought your car with you. Now you enter your car. Are you trapped by your car? No. In fact, you drive the car. Similarly, Krishna enters into the universe to drive the universe. He doesn't become entangled in the universe. So, similarly, another thing we can say, your car depends on you for its movement. It cannot move on its own. Even if you have a Tesla car or automated car, still it is working for somebody and it is autopiloted or auto-operated by somebody. Correct, no? There is always someone behind. So only dead matter cannot move by itself. Matter requires the touch of a spirit for its movement. So just as the car depends on you for its movement, similarly the whole universe depends on Krishna for its functioning. So we can say Krishna is the operator of the cosmic machine. You will read that there is one chapter, No Tishtat Tada Virat. If you put this in Bhagavatam, No Tishtat Tada Virat. Some 14, 15 shlokas are there with the same second line. When it comes, when the Virat Purusha was, lying in the oceans, waters of the Garbhodaka, he was not raising up, he was not getting up. So the Surya Dev, he came and stood near the eyes and said, Uttishta, Uttishta, he was not getting up. Similarly, the Ashwini Kumara stood at the nose and then told Virat Purusha to get up, he was not getting up. Dig Devatas came near the ears and said, get up, get up. He was not getting up. So all the presiding deities of the different senses, they came and requested him to get up. He was not getting up. Finally, Super Soul entered the Chitta. Chittena Hridayam, it is said. When he entered, immediately Virat Purusha got up. All the birds in the sky, they started flying. The ocean started having waves. Sun started rising. Sun was setting. Moon was rising. Crops were growing. Wind was blowing. Seasons were changing. Everything happened when the Super Soul entered. So, which goes to show that all matter is dead. By the touch of the Supreme Spirit, the whole universe is set rolling. Therefore we say, not even a blade of grass can move without the Lord's sanction, permission, isn't it? So, in this way, Supreme Lord by his different energies, namely internal and external. What is internal in Sanskrit? Antaranga Shakti. And external is Bahiranga Shakti. So Antaranga Shakti, who is the representative in Antaranga Shakti main? Srimati Radharani. And external potency? Durga. So Durga is also sister principle of Krishna. Durga is an expansion of Subhadra. You will read that in Prabhupada's small book, Elevation to Krishna Consciousness. There Prabhupada writes, the Subhadra expands as Durga Devi in the material world. Spiritual world, she is Subhadra. In the material world, she is Durga. So, Antaranga, Bahiranga, what is the difference? Prabhupada explained it very nicely. Antaranga Shakti is like fire, he said. Bahiranga Shakti is like smoke. Fire serves, smoke troubles. Isn't it? In any chula, in a furnace, the fire serves by cooking sabji, rice and everything. And the smoke only troubles. Gives trouble to everybody. Similarly, in Antaranga Shakti, there is only happiness. But in Bahiranga Shakti, there is happiness mixed with misery. Khlad tapakari mishra, it is said. Khlad means happiness. Tap means suffering. Mishra means mixture. Like, you eat a dozen samosas in the night. Very enjoyable. Next day morning, you get stomachache. That is suffering. So you get enjoyment first and then you get suffering also. Yeah. So that's the way this world is. So the external energy is pain producing and internal potency is bliss producing. That's why you will see Srimati Radharani, you see in her left hand she is having a bouquet to welcome you to spiritual world. And so in the right hand she has a garland to offer to Krishna, isn't it? So Radharani is going to offer garland to Gopinath and then also welcoming you to spiritual world. Because generally when you go to any meetings, if they are showing a bouquet means you are welcome, correct, no? Imagine they show a trishul on your face. What does that mean? In any meeting they show trishul, that means they are saying get out. So who is holding trishul? Durga. That means Durga is saying get out, get out. Radharani is saying welcome, welcome. That means for the jiva, there is welcome in the spiritual world and get out in the material world. Correct, no? So that is external potency. Because you have come to a wrong place. Prabhupada says danger must be there because we have put ourselves in a dangerous position. He says like that in one of the Kunti Maharani's purports. So, Supreme Lord by his different energies, namely internal and external, is within everything in the manifested cosmos. How? Because first the Lord expands as Mahavishnu, and Mahavishnu creates millions of universes. You all know that, have seen the picture, isn't it? And then within each universe, he enters as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, right? And then from his navel comes Brahma is born. Then in the top he expands as Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, milk, in the milk ocean. And then that Kshirodakshaya Vishnu enters into every atom and every heart of all living beings. So that's why he's saying here. He's within everything. Andantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham, in every atom and the heart of everybody. And at the same time, he is outside of everything. This is an important point here. Generally, right now, all of you are in Radha Gopinath temple now. You can't be at home now, simultaneously. Or some devotees thought that today will be very crowded, so they didn't come to temple. They are at home. Maybe some are watching online. Correct, no? But you can't be simultaneously in two places. But for Krishna, there is no such limitation. He was invited by Shuddhadeva and Bahulashva, two people. Shuddhadeva was a poor Brahman, and Bahulashva was a rich king of Mithilapuri. And Krishna nodded the head to both. Yes, I'll come. Even we have experience also. I did the same thing by mistake once. On the same date, I gave appointment to two people, same date, same time. And then I suddenly realized when I looked at my calendar, I put both their names. So definitely you have to say sorry to one of them, correct, no? You can't go to both places. Otherwise, if you want to see both of them, the only way is call them to your place. They both can come, isn't it? Whereas Krishna went to both the places simultaneously. Went to Shuddhadeva's home, he went to Bahulashva's home. He can expand himself. There's no limitation. Similarly, he can keep himself in spiritual world, and then he can also come to material world. So not that, when he comes to material world, spiritual world, everybody is crying, Krishna has gone away, what will happen to us? No, he can be Goloka Nivasati, Akhilatma Bhuto. Can be everywhere. And not just only in two places. He can expand himself in multiple places. Just like even the Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, he is on the top of the universe, but then from there he expands into all the hearts of all jivas. Like if you have one sun in the sky, you put 1,000 oil pots. In all the oil pots you will see one sun. Like that the Lord expands into hearts of all. It's possible for him. Just like one boy is sitting in a room and controlling some 50,000 mobiles. Correct, no? He gives a command that, hey, your charges are getting over. If you don't pay, we will cut your facility to use the mobile. Just one person is doing. If one human being can manage 50,000 mobiles, for super soul to enter the hearts of all, what is so great about it? He can enter into everyone's heart easily. Yeah. He is outside of everything, situated in kingdom of God. Vaikuntha Loka is described before. This is very nicely stated in Brahma Samhita as follows. You'll recite together. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitabhis Tavetyayeva Nijarupataya Kalavihi Golokayeva Nivasatya Kilatma Bhuto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship the personality of Godhead Govinda, who by expansion of his internal potency of transcendental existence, knowledge and bliss, enjoys in his own and expanded forms in Goloka, simultaneously enters into every atom of the creation. So when Krishna comes into the creation, it's very important for us to know how he enters the creation without getting affected. That is very nicely explained. So we will read a little bit and then we will discuss. The expansion of his plenary parts is also more definitely explained in the same Brahma Samhita as follows. Together. Ekopyasav rachayitum jagadanda kotim yat shakti rasti jagadanda chayaya dantaha andantarasta paramanu chayantarastam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. I worship the personality of Godhead Govinda, who by one of his plenary portions enters into the existence of every universe and every particle of the atoms, and thus unlimitedly manifests his infinite energy all over material creation. See, there is one very important verse in Satvata Tantra. I will request all of you to repeat after me, because if you know this truth, you will be liberated. The verse itself says that, okay? Vishnostu trini rupani Purushakhyanyato viduhu Ekam tu mahatah srishtir Dvitiyam anda samstitam Tritiyam sarva bhutastam Aninyatpa vimuchyate. So I want to show you because that will help you more. You'll appreciate it more than. You're able to see now? Okay. See, this is spiritual world. And when Krishna wants to create the material existence, he expands. See, Karana ocean. What is Karana? Karana is our desire to be separate, desire to be independent. So in that ocean, Mahavishnu is lying creating millions of universes. You see, from the pores of his body. He is called as Mahavishnu or he is called Karanadakshay Vishnu. And then this is one universe. Details are given. So when yogi meditates, so there is yoga ruda. Mature yogi, what he sees in his meditation, now you will see now. Even before we can realize, we can see his realization. See, that's what he says. Then he sees inside every universe. Who is this? Garbhodakshay Vishnu. At the bottom of the universe, he fills the universe with half water and then he lies. Then he sees Kshurodakshay Vishnu, the milk ocean, third Vishnu. And who becomes the super soul in the heart of all? And this is Sankarshan, super soul. Then he sees Vaikuntha. Then he sees Vasudeva. Then he sees Mahavishnu. And where is Mahavishnu coming from? From Krishna after Balaram and multiple expansions, then he comes. Then he sees that the origin of everything, Sarva Karana Karanam, is Krishna. So in this way, Mahavishnu creates millions of universes from the pores of his body.
It's all the three worlds, both spiritual and mundane. Everything rests in me, Arjun, just as you see pearls hang upon a thread.
Yeah, just like in the Kantimala, you have all the monies put together because there is a nylon thread. Similarly, Lord comes into the universe to sustain the universes. He is not bound by the universe. This example is given by Sripad Ramanujacharya. Like you see the train, the engine pulls everything else. Similarly, Lord is the ultimate puller of everything. Yeah, this is Garbhodakshay Vishnu within every universe. From his navel comes. How do you recognize Garbhodakshay Vishnu? There is one easy way to recognize. Anybody can say? When you see, he's a Pankajanabi. Now the lotus comes from his navel. That is Garbhodakshay Vishnu. Tanna Vishnu prachodaya.
Om Shri Vishnave cha vidmahe Vasudevaya dhimahi.
Like this, Brahma is doing meditation on Garbhodakshay Vishnu. Garbhodakshay Vishnu is his father also, his worshipable Lord also, and Guru also for him. So, and then Lord will enlighten Brahma. And then based on that enlightenment, he creates all the species of life. So he gives bodies to all jivas. And then this is Kshurodakshay Vishnu in the top. And then, he enters into the hearts of all. Also into every atom also he enters. Isn't it? So This is a Rigvedic verse which says, Apashyam Gopam Anipadyamanama. So all these things are coming from this Gopala Krishna, Lord Krishna. And what does Lord Krishna do? When he wants to do all this creation, he just expands as the three Vishnus. Ekam tumahata srishtir, dvitiyam manda samsthitam, tritiyam sarva bhutastam, taninyatpa vimuchyate. If you know these three truths, you are liberated, he says already. Knowing this. So what do you think Krishna is doing after expanding himself in these three Vishnu forms? I used to think God must be the most busy person. Isn't it? He has to send one Narasimha avatar to one universe and Vamana avatar to another universe. He has to keep schedule and track and everything. So he is not like that. See what he is doing. He is just he is asking the peacocks, what can I do for you? Instead of telling them, hey, living relatives, come and serve me. So because all are in love with him, in platform of love, even the Lord's heart bends. The Lord is asking them, oh, my dear fair-feathered friends, what can I do for you? And then the peacocks are requesting him to sing a particular tune. And after they choose the tune, what he says? Excellent choice. He's appreciating them. Significant gift in reciprocation. He is keeping it in the top of his head to show them how much he values that small gift. So this is very important. Because sometimes in Pune, some sannyasi would come and a child would draw some Jagannath or something, scribble it in a paper and give it. So one sannyasi, I saw him taking it and keeping it in his bag. So one devotee asked the sannyasi, Maharaj, this picture is not so great. Some child has just scribbled like, it doesn't look like Jagannath. What will you do with this paper? So that Maharaj said, see, if I don't keep this paper, the child will feel that I have ignored or neglected. Just to reciprocate with the child's affection, I am carrying it with me, he said. So, similarly, Krishna also wears the peacock feather on his head. So this is his business in spiritual world. Akhila Rasamrita Murti. That is his business in spiritual world. So, the impersonalists can imagine or even perceive that the Supreme Brahman is thus all-pervading, and therefore they conclude that there is no possibility of his personal form. Although Lord is in every atom, he is in his personal form. So there is one entire chapter in Bhagavata Sandarbha in Jiva Goswami's. I have that here. Only thing is, there won't be time for us to see that. So these three Anuchedas, if you want to read, you can read. Anucheda 30, 31, 32. These three in the Bhagavad Sandarbha very beautifully explains this point. So herein lies the mystery of transcendental knowledge of the personality of Godhead. The mystery is transcendental love of Godhead. And one who is surcharged with such transcendental love of Godhead can, without difficulty, see the personality of Godhead in every atom and every movable or immovable object. And at the same time, he can see the personality of Godhead in his own abode Goloka, enjoying eternal pastimes with his eternal associates, who are also expansions of his transcendental existence. You see, there is one Jiva Goswami's definition of how does a pure devotee see Krishna everywhere. Generally, we tend to think wherever he puts his eyes, Krishna's personal form will be manifest. We tend to think like that. But he has explained in another way. He says, Jagad dhanamayam lubdaha kamukaha kaminimayam itivat pashyati hare shariram. He says that if some lusty man goes to a forest, he will look for some lovebirds there. If a greedy man goes to forest, he will immediately ask, how big is the forest? How many trees are there? How much money can I make? He sees everywhere is his money. If somebody comes for his business, he looks out of the window and says, Bada party hai, it's chota party. Like that he sees in terms of money. Like somebody comes and gives a gift on a marriage day. When people are receiving it, immediately their mind is calculating, oh, they have given us 10,000 rupees worth, so they note and keep it. When they go to their marriage, they will also give back 10,000 worth gift. You've seen that in India, people do that? Yeah, isn't it? So people see in terms of how much, everything in terms of money. And a lusty man You just put a stick and put a cloth, he will get mad. Seeing that. He's mad after anywhere, any. One one foolish man was telling, he was standing outside a shop and watching the doll of a woman and dressed in a cloth. A lusty man can be so mad and so foolish. His eyes are tinged with lust. So therefore they write no Buran Reservala, Tera Mokala. They write no. Somebody with like Ravana was like that. Ravana was having a big tuft with a Rudraksh and everything, with long beard and moustache, and Kamandali was taking. But the way he was looking at Sita, his eyes were tinged with lust. So Sita chastised him. She said, "You fool, my husband Ram is like Chandan and you are like mud. He is like Meru Parvat, you are like a mound. He is like ocean, you are like a puddle of water. He is like Garuda and you are like a crow." Like that she says. Basically she's telling difference between love and lust. Telling the difference. So, in this way, the Supreme Lord and His associates, they are in pure love for each other. So, here comes the cream of this purport. The vision is the real. This vision is the real mystery of spiritual knowledge, as stated by the Lord in the beginning of the instruction of Brahmaji. Sarahasyam tadangam cha. This mystery is the most confidential part. What is that mystery? It's revealed by Brahma. Please repeat this verse together. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santas sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam shyama sundaram achintya gunaswarupam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. I worship the original personality of Godhead, Govinda, whom the pure devotees, their eyes smeared with the ointment of love of Godhead, always observe within their hearts. This Govinda, the original personality of Godhead, is Shyama Sundara with all transcendental qualities. Therefore, although he is present in every atom, the Supreme Personality of Godhead may not be visible to dry speculators. Still the mystery is unfolded before the eyes of the pure devotees because their eyes are anointed with love of Godhead. And this love of Godhead can be attained only by the practice of transcendental loving service of the Lord. And nothing else. The vision of the devotee is not ordinary. It is purified by the process of devotional service. In other words, as the universal elements are both within and without, similarly the Lord's name, form, qualities, pastimes, entourage, as they are described in the revealed scriptures, or as performed in the Vaikuntha Lokas, far beyond the material cosmic manifestation, are factually being televised in the heart of the devotee. Televised means like a television. The man with a poor fund of knowledge cannot understand these things. Although by material science you can see faraway things by television, but this spiritual television is only available for a devotee in love. So in Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, these things are explained in a very lucid manner. You will see now. See here. Is it big enough for you, all of you? Okay. Having described Maya and Yogamaya by taking two meanings to the previous verse. See, what are the two meanings? For example, when you say Saguna about Lord Krishna, what is the meaning of Saguna? Saguna means Krishna is endowed with transcendental qualities, 64 qualities. And when you say Krishna is Nirguna, that means he is not touched by 3 gunas. That's the meaning of that. Not that Nirguna means Krishna is Nirakar. That's a wrong understanding. Nirguna means it's beyond the 3 gunas. Saguna, when you say, it's not that Saguna form means the absolute truth has taken on the Sattva guna or something like that. No. Saguna means Lord is endowed with 64 qualities. So Sripad Ramanacharya has said, like a blue lotus has its blueness, which cannot be separated from the blue lotus. Like that, the 64 qualities of Krishna are inseparable from him. Therefore, he is called Saguna. Like that, he explains that. And Nirguna means he is like the spider who creates a very complicated web in the corner of a house, and it goes like this, like this, like this, and finally he sits in the center. Just like Mahavishnu is lying like this and creating all universes. But he doesn't become entangled. He is Nirguna. Whereas all other flies which come there, they get stuck in that. They get entangled. That's the meaning of Nirguna. So, here he explains, you can see here. Just as the elements such as ether enter into living beings such as devatas, men and animals, since they are acquired by the jivas, and at the same time do not enter into them, since they maintain a separate existence. This is what I was telling you in the beginning. I also enter, Krishna says, in the same manner, I also enter into the elements and the living beings, and also do not enter them, remaining separately in my abode, which is Shuddha Sattva. Like that he is telling. So, like nowadays we have, like for example, somebody may say, oh, yesterday evening, we had a wonderful lecture given by Chandramani Maharaj. Somebody says like that. You say, Prabhu, really, you never invited me to your house? Then he says, no, Prabhuji, Maharaj didn't come, he says. But Prabhuji, you said Maharaj gave a lecture. Yes, Prabhuji gave, but he gave on Zoom. You may say, correct, no? So he simultaneously came and didn't come also. Correct, no? So he is New Vrindavan Nivasati. And then he is also coming on Zoom to your house also. Like that, Krishna also, he can remain in Goloka, but he can also enter into the hearts of everybody here. Like sometimes we can appear in 1,000 Zoom windows, isn't it? Like that. So I also enter into the elements and living beings, and also do not enter them, remain separately. The entrance of the elements into the living beings is without attachment. Why? Because the elements are not conscious. See, elements are around you, but they can't develop attachment for you because they are not conscious. And that is why it is said, for example, if any of you become attached to a gulab jamun, it is called one-way attachment. Why? Because who is attached to whom? You are attached to gulab jamun. Whereas when a husband and wife become attached to each other, it's a two-way attachment. It's like a clip like this. The husband says, now I am 60, I want to take vanaprastha, but his wife is not living. Our wife says, I am fed up with sense gratification, now I want to become more serious in spiritual life. Husband is not living. Because one clip is catching. So both have developed attachment. Then they can peacefully advance in spiritual life. You understand one-way, two-way attachment? Now, why did I give this example? Don't take any offense with this example. But I need to give this example for a purpose. Why I gave this? Because, the attachment to matter is one way. Whereas attachment between spirits is two-way. Whereas Krishna is also Supreme Spirit. And we are also Spirit. Correct, no? Now Krishna is going to explain the truth. Like the ether, though I am conscious, like a man who lives in his house without attachment, I remain without attachment while entering, regulating and protecting all beings. My pastimes are without attachment in relation to the elements and the living beings within the material world. That means Krishna comes in this world only to create this material world for you and me. He is not attached to the material world that he has created. Very amazing it is. Because generally, whenever we all create something, we keep fascinating our own creation. This is a book which I wrote, the book. Or this is a lecture that I spoke. Or sometimes people do some drawing and they put it and they ask, how is this drawing? Then when you appreciate, then you come to know they have drawn the drawing, correct? No? So you will see that whenever we create anything, like somebody made jalebi in the kitchen. They ask you, how was it a jalebi? You say, fantastic. You say, I only made it. And he say, no, it was crispy, like, very hard like a stone, Somebody says, then they will not say who made it. Isn't it? So generally people are attracted to their own creation. But Lord says, my pastimes are without attachment in relation to the elements and the living beings within the material world. But I desire to show myself to my obedient devotees who have entered my heart, who have perfected themselves, and they bow to me. Remaining separate, not entering their hearts, I desire to offer my beauty to their eyes. I desire that my fragrance enters their nostrils. This is called as Saurabhya. When devotee smells Krishna's fragrance, a devotee wants all his senses to become like nose to smell. And then I desire that my fragrance enters their nostrils and desire to fill their ears with the nectar of my sweet voice or the flute sound. So then a devotee feels, I want all my senses to become ears to hear the sweet sound of Krishna's flute. Just like the calves are drinking milk from the udders of their mother cow. But when they hear the flute sound, they become stunned. Then they're wondering which nectar to take, this side nectar or this side nectar. Then they stop the milk, although their mouths are catching the udders, but they're hearing the flute sound. When Krishna stops the flute sound, then they continue drinking milk after that. Like that. And then he says that, I desire to make the limbs experience the sweet softness of my body by touching and embracing them. Thus situated inside my devotees and externally as well, I perform pastimes with great attachment for my pure devotees, beyond the gunas, whom I cannot give up, he says. See, the devotees are also beyond gunas. They're called Nivritta Gunavritti. Krishna is also Nivritta Gunavritti. Then they both perform pastimes together in this material world. They are inside material world, but they are not in the material world, we can say. Because they are in this world, but not of this world. Correct, no? Say, I can give you a very simple example for this. Say one of you has to fetch some flowers to make garland for the deities. So you have to go in a lane. But in that lane, there are liquor shops, meat shop, there's a brothel, there are permit rooms and all that. So you go in that lane to the end of the lane where the flowers are sold. You go straight there, purchase the flowers, and you come out straight out of the lane. These shops on either side are of no consequence to you because you are not attached to them, nor are you attracted by them. You don't connect with them. They exist, you exist, but there is no connection. Your connection is straight to that shop where you get the flowers. So Krishna also comes like this into this world. He is unattached to material energy, but material energy depends on him for her survival and actions. And also he is unattached to the conditioned souls who have come to enact their own independent activities. But he is very attached to his pure devotees. So I will just show you what Sripad Ramanuja says in that Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo. He says, Idam mama swabhavikam nirankusha aishwaryam saushilya saundarya vatsalyadi kalyana guna gana yogam cha matva buddhaha. He says, so my devotees, what are they aware of about me? He says that mama swabhavikam. He says the Lord is called as Nirankush, which means Lord is like an elephant which is not controlled by any Ankush. That means Lord has full freedom while dealing with his devotees. He may break so-called moral laws. For example, he took the chakra and saved the 5 Pandavas from the Brahmastra sent by Ashwatthama. Prabhupada says that Lord did not want to be called as a great moralist. Even at the cost of his ill reputation, he saved the Pandavas because he lifted the weapon even before the war was over. So that's why it's called Nirankushwaryam, Nirankusha Aishwaryam. And what is Aishwarya? Saushilya. Just now I showed you Krishna playing with the peacocks. That is Saushilya. A big person playing an intimate role with somebody very small. And Saundarya means the Lord looks very beautiful even when he lifts the wheel in his hand and charges towards Bhishma. Even at that time he looks very sweet to see in the eyes of Bhishma. And Vatsalya means the Lord treats his devotees like a cow treats the bachara, like a calf. He treats with great affection, like a cow licks all the impurities in the body of the calf. The Lord takes away the impurities in the devotee's heart. And then there are other qualities. Mardava means Lord feels great separation from his devotees. Arjava means the Lord is truthful to his devotee. Like Kunti, he made a promise, I will make your sons the king of the world, and he did it. And Kunti told him, the sun may become cool, moon may become hot, but you will never give up your promise, she says. So similarly, Lord is having there is another quality called Karunya. He feels pity for his pure devotees. Like Lord told Ambarish that I am worried about you, you are king of the world, you don't have any security, no protection. You are going anywhere and everywhere, you are coming to my temple on the road, and there may be danger for you. But Ambarish said, why should I worry, my Lord? What is the need for worrying? The Lord said, you are not worried. Yes, I am not worried because you are there for me always. That is the point. I am there for you. So it's my duty to protect you. So I will send one Sudarshan Chakra to be rotating above your palace always. Anybody like Durvasa comes and troubles you, immediately Sudarshan will act. So Lord feels pity for his devotees, Karunya. They are like that Saushilya, Saundarya, Vatsalya, Karunya, Mardava, Harjava, Chaturya. Lord is very clever in serving his devotee very attentively, just like in Arjunacharya's pastime, Krishna Balaram came and served, like that. So like there are many qualities. That's why he uses the word Adi, he says. Kalyana Guna Gana Yogam Cha Matva. When a devotee studies about the qualities of the Lord dealing with devotees, he becomes Buddha. Who is Buddha means very intelligent person. Krishna says, Nateshu Ramate Buddha. If somebody is not Buddha, he becomes Gadha. Isn't it? Gadha is kicked on the face by another Gadha, but he is an illusion. But intelligent devotees who are Buddha, they surrender to Krishna. Jnanino bhava samanvitaha sarva kalyana gunanvitam bhajante. Knowing all my qualities, my devotees heartily, they delight in me. Then next verse, Machita, he says, Machita mayi nivishta manasaha. Nivishta manasaha means my devotees' hearts are completely filled with remembrance of Krishna at every moment. Yeah. So, here Madgata Prana means like a fish cannot live without water. My devotees cannot live without me, he says. Sripad Ramanacharya says, Madgata Prana means Madgata Jivitaha Maya Vina Atma Dharanam Alabhamana Ityartha, which means they are unable to survive without me. And the Lord is saying, just like fish cannot survive without water. And the Bodhayanta Parasparam, see, 3 words are used. Machitta, and then Bodhayanta, and Katayantascha. Correct, no? This is, Katayantascha means to speak the glories of the Lord. Bodhayanta means to hear. And Machitta means to remember. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. These 3 things my devotees do. They explain to each other with friendliness about the types of bhakti and the real nature of bhakti, explaining Lord's name, form, qualities, pastimes. They inspire one another. Svai svai hi anubhutan madiyan gunan paraspara bodhayantaha. They tell everybody what they have experienced by practicing bhakti. Glorify the Lord. Either he says. So in this way, I will just conclude with one favorite pastime.
शुभांगम इतस्ततश्चर करुणापांगम यदिवर
भुजंग शिरपाद युगपाणि धृत मधुनिनाद वेणुरवतामि ततज्जं तगतज्जं तगधिगतज्जं तां गोपांगनाकुल.
See, in this beautiful Kaliya and Radhaman dance, 2 things are shown. If you very carefully observe, you will be able to understand. This is Kaliya Daman. Part of the dance shows that the Kaliya is trying to envelop Krishna on all sides, which I showed just now, I showed you. And then Krishna kicks away, Krishna goes round and round, and the Kaliya loses his balance, correct, no? And then Krishna takes over. And then when Krishna dances controlling Kaliya, then all the devatas shower flowers, and they clap hands, and they praise Krishna. Now that also comes. So the beauty of this pastime is simultaneously Kaliya is purified on one hand, and the devotees are also glorifying the Lord. Both will come in this.
मधुसूदन हरि सम्मदन पद नटन तग तगन नत जन परिवृत सदय बुध हृदय धामि ततज्जं तगतज्जं तगधिगतज्जं ता निरन्तरानन्द मुख कमल अनन्त नटनांग पदयुगला निरन्तरानन्द मुख कमल अनन्त नटनांग पदयुगला मधुमुरलीधर हरि लहरी मरीचि सगीत मनोरमणा मधुमुरलीधर हरि लहरी मरीचि सगीत मनोरमणा व्रज दुरंदरा जलद शोभमान धर चिकुर मुकुल मकुट नील शिखंडक मोहनांग कलिंग नटन तामितदज्जं तगदज्जं तगधिगदज्जं तामील मनोहर जाल विभूषण निरत चलंचल भुजंग नर्तन
ನೀರಜದಳಾತ ಅಧಿಕ ಮೃದುಳ ಪದ ನಿಕಟ ತರಂಗೋ ತುಂಗ ತಾಡಂಗ
ತಕ ನೃತ್ತ ಕತಾಂ ತಕತೈ
तक तदिनिधिय तक ताकिट नग जग दृग जगनंद तक नक नक जग दृग जगनंदम
ಯಮುನಾ ತಟಾಕ ತುಂಗ ತರಂಗಂ ಹಿಮಕರ ಸ್ಥಿಮಿತ ರಮಿತ ಶುಭಾಂಗಂ
ಇತಸ್ತತಶ್ಚರ ಕರುಣಾಪಾಂಗಂ ಯದಿವರ ಹೃದಯ ಸರೋರುಹ ಭೃಂಗಂ
ದಿನತ ತಿಲ್ಲಾನ ದಿನತ ತಿಲ್ಲಾನ ದಿನತ ತಿಲ್ಲಾನ ದ್ರುಗುತ ಗಿಟ ತಿಲ್ಲಾನ
ತಿಲಕ ಸಿಂಧೂರ
ಅಲಕ ಶೃಂಗಾರ
ವದನ ಗಂಭೀರ
ಉರಗಫಣ ಸಂಚಾರ
ನಂದ ಸುಕುಮಾರ
ನವನೀತ ದಧಿಚೋರ
ಚಂದ ಮಣಿಹಾರ
ಜಲಜ ಭವನುತ ಧೀರ
नंद सुकुमार नवनीत दधिचोर स्वच्छंद मणिहार जलज भवनुत धीर जय विजयी भवनंद कुमार ब्रज जन परमानंद किशोर काळीय नटनानंद गंभीर करुणा रसयुत भाव शरीर
ದೀಂ ತತಾಂ ತದೀಂ ತತಾಂ ತತೈ
ದೀಂ ತತಾಂ ತದೀಂ
तत्तकज्जं तत्तकन्नं तत्तकर्रुं
ತಾಕು ಜಣಂ ತರಿ ತತಕು ಜಣಂ ತರಿತ ಜಣಂ ತರಿ ತದಿಮಿತ ಕಿಟ ಜೊಣು ತಾಕು ಜಣಂ ತರಿ ತತಕು ಜಣಂ ತರಿತ ಜಣಂ ತರಿ ತದಿಮಿತ ಕಿಟ ಜೊಣು
अद्भुत नर्तन चित्रित मुद्रित विद्युत मुद्भवम अद्भुतम अद्भुतम
ತಾಕು ಜಣಂ ತರಿ ತತಕು ಜಣಂ ತರಿತ ಜಣಂ ತರಿ ತದಿಮಿತ ಕಿಟ ಜೊಣು
अद्भुत नर्तन चित्रित मुद्रित विद्युत मुद्भवम अद्भुतम अद्भुतम
ತಾಕು ಜಣಂ ತರಿ ತತಕು ಜಣಂ ತರಿತ
दितिशुत काल विधिनुत शील अतिशय नील धृत पदलोल
ತಾಕು ಜಣಂ ತರಿ ತತಕು ಜಣಂ ತರಿತ
दितिशुत काल विधिनुत शील अतिशय नील धृत पद लोल
ತಾಕು ಜಣಂ ತರಿ ತತಕು ಜಣಂ ತರಿತ ಜಣಂ ತರಿ ತದಿಮಿತ ಕಿಟ ಜೊಣು
तधिमित किट धिमितात धिमित किट धिमितात तधिमित किट धिमितात ता अंगदातैतां
ಕದಂ
कनक भूषण तकिट तगत् तगाय मुख भर मंद स्मित नववर पूजित पदयुगला
ಹರಿ ಜಯ ವಿಜಯೀ ಭವನಂದ ಕುಮಾರ
ಬ್ರಜ ಜನ ಪರಮಾನಂದ ಕಿಶೋರ
ಕಾಳೀಯ ನಟನಾನಂದ ಗಂಭೀರ
ಕರುಣಾರಸಯುತ ಭಾವ ಶರೀರ
मद मधुकर मधुपधरल समनयन कमलदल चलन मुनि हृदयमपि चोर चातुर दयाकर मुरादिभीकर मद मधुकर मधुपधरल समनयन कमलदल चलन मुनि हृदयमपि चोर चातुर दयाकर मुरादिभीकर मद मधुकर मधुपधरल समनयन कमलदल चलन मुनि हृदयमपि चोर चातुर दयाकर मुरादिभीकर मद मधुकर मधुपधरल समनयन कमलदल चलन मुनि हृदयमपि चोर चातुर दयाकर मुरादिभीकर
So, when you these type of pastimes, you will see in India in Bharatanatyam, through these dances we are reminded of the Lord's pastimes from the scriptures, different pastimes. So by on one hand you watch this type of cultural performances, on the other hand you study the Srimad Bhagavatam. Whichever hood was raising Kaliya, Krishna was jumping over that, how he controlled. So the whole idea is the spiritual emotions will be awakened in the heart of the devotee when there are in multiple ways a devotee reminds oneself and reminds one another about the Lord's activities, pastimes, His qualities, His behavior. So, bodhayanta parasparam. So, Prabhupada says this Premanjana Charita verse because unless our eyes are tinged with salve of love, we need, first we get Jnana Chakshu, then one can elevate oneself to, first we get Shastra Chakshu first, then we get Jnana Chakshu, then we get Prema Chakshu. When we get the Prema Chakshu, then we will get the eyes to see the activities of the Lord. How He enters the universe, just like a Prime Minister or President of India can enter into the jail. But He is not part of the jail. He just comes to supervise the people in the jail. And then He'll go back and perform His great activities. Lord comes into this world for a short while, and all His activities are recorded in the scriptures, and He is untouched by the world. He is worshipable by all living entities. And considering Him to be ordinary would be terrible offense. Or considering ordinary living beings to be like God is another offense also. To say President is thief, or to call ordinary thief as President, both are offensive. Isn't it? So, this is a long purport. A part of it I read today, and the other next continuation of the purport will be done by other future devotees in future classes. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki. I exceeded my time. I'm supposed to finish by 10:45, I think. But I thought, Kaliya, Daman Leela, you all will enjoy watching this. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, can I have that?